Hey everyone, so by now I'm sure you've all heard about Vigano being excommunicated by Pope Francis for schism. Now, he is controversial even among some traditional Catholics for saying that Francis is not the Pope. I commented on this channel before that I'm a broad traditionalist Catholic. I accept SSPX and Fraternity of St. Peter as being Orthodox Catholics faithful to tradition. So I'm not going to comment on whether or not I think Vigano is innocent or guilty, but I will comment on something else. If Vigano can be disciplined, it begs the question, why aren't the German bishops being disciplined? Why aren't all the modernists and the Catholic parishes being disciplined and called out and excommunicated? Oh, we don't want to rupture the unity of the church. Well, when Vigano criticized Pope Francis and said you're not the Pope, he was disciplined. It wasn't, oh, we can't punish Vigano. We don't want to disrupt the unity of the church. The book was thrown at him. Meanwhile, people who deny even that the papacy is even instituted by Christ at all in Catholic parishes, deny historic Catholic teaching, who deny even the real presence, who believe you can be saved in any religion, contrary to what was taught by the Council of Florence. Vigano was excommunicated for denying Vatican II. Well, think what you will about Vatican II, but the Council of Florence is an ecumenical council. According to Pope St. Pius X, the Catholic faith cannot change. It is eternal. Otherwise, what's the big deal? Why would someone want to be Catholic at all if it's not the Church of Christ founded unchanged from 2,000 years ago? Why aren't these people being excommunicated? Why aren't they being said, hey, you're in schism, here's the decree to make it official and publicize it? And often it's to the point that they scandalize people to the extent that people like Vigano possibly go into schism themselves. Hey, you think Caesar's schismatic? That's a valid argument, a valid position to hold. But who scandalized them to the extent that they got there? And why aren't the people who are scandalizing them being excommunicated? Why aren't they being disciplined? Why aren't those bishops who people have been complaining, talked about this for ages? Sometimes I've even heard people who said that you don't need Jesus for salvation at all in Catholic parishes. These people are never disciplined. Hans Kung, who he was suspended but never excommunicated, even though he denied he didn't just deny that Benedict XVI was Pope, he basically said the office did not exist as founded by Christ. He outright denied papal infallibility outright. He didn't even just undermine the person of the pontiff, he undermined the very office, and squat was done. So, to anyone who is watching, maybe you support Vigano, maybe you don't. Maybe you think he's quackers. I'm not telling you what you should think about Vigano. However, I would point out that there is definitely a double standard that makes people ask questions, that makes Vigano ask questions, that led him, if he is going to schism, it's this double standard that led him there. It's this double standard that makes him think, okay, if you criticize Pope Francis and say you're not the real Pope, that's a no-go. But you can still be in the church if you deny even the institution of the papacy, deny the resurrection of Jesus Christ. I've seen it. Deny the necessity for Jesus Christ for salvation. Paragraph 10, Cantato Domine of the Ecumenical Council of Florence. You need to believe in Jesus Christ for salvation. I've heard that done in Catholic parishes. It's known about, it's talked about openly, nothing is done. So if that is going on, you can see why Vigano might think this is a mock trial. You literally don't hold a Catholic faith if you think this is okay, and that you're still in the church. Heresy cuts you off from the church automatically, by the way. And those things that I mentioned are heresies defined by the Catholic Church, even post-Vatican II. So the excommunication of Vigano, even if he is guilty, it just shows where the priorities of the post-Vatican II Catholic hierarchy lie. Criticizing Pope Francis? No. Denial of Jesus, even of Jesus Christ, is on the table. And so basically, yeah, this double standard, this denial of the Catholic faith is why groups like SSPX exist. It's why sedevacantists exist, whether rightly or wrongly. And all that Pope Francis did by excommunicating Vigano, to anyone who actually does care about the Catholic faith at all, shows that it is a worse crime to criticize Pope Francis and just to question his eligibility for the office of the papacy, rather than that's worse than denying Christ himself, basically, because that goes on in parishes all the time. Openly, by bishops, they make statements and they're never called to account. So yeah, anyway, go to SSPX, where the Catholic faith is put first, is my advice to everyone, or anywhere else but a modern parish or diocese. Like, again, I am not judging Pope Francis. I'm not judging individual people who go to the local Catholic parishes or bishops, including Pope Francis himself. However, I do, however, have to judge situations and judge what is obvious. That even if Vigano is guilty, even if he deserves to be punished, I know I'm a broken record with this. Even if Vigano is guilty and deserves to be punished, why aren't these people doing far worse infractions being punished? And because, quote unquote, unity. We don't want to rupture unity or go into schism, even though the faith is being denied. Anyway, God bless. Have a great day. 3 Hail Marys for everyone. And the Vigano excommunication in practice honestly changes nothing. Ave Maria, gratia plena Dominus tecum, benedicta mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et nostrae. Amen. Please pray for me. Please pray for Vigano, whether you think he's right or wrong. And please pray for Pope Francis and the modern Catholic hierarchy to at least come to their senses. Again, even if Vigano is guilty, he's guilty because he's been scandalized so much by people who, frankly, should be excommunicated, who under divine law already have excommunicated themselves. They need to be dealt with. God bless.